Guys, my name is CarQ, and I know you read the title, well, at least I hope you did, but don't get it confused. No, this is not the same as a Doomfist rollout video. Instead, this is going to showcase a Doomfist tech known as a diagonal punch, with a mixture of what we call kill spots, where the punch connects on an enemy against a wall, or a setup spot where you'd initiate with the punch to get some height before following up with a seismic or uppercut. I'm a support main and honestly don't play much Doomfist, so I have special guest Brandito joining me.
Hey, I'm Brandito. I'm a 4750 Peak Widow player, rank 3 Peak Season 3, and I'm also LFT Owl. Just kidding, I'm a ladder Doomfist player who enjoys fun Doom tech and one-shotting people.
Before we get into the diagonal punches for every map, which is also sometimes called diags for short by the Doomfist community, I actually want to quickly teach you how this tech works. It looks complicated at first, but the trick to it actually lies in the object you're punching against. This would be either a wall or object that is slightly angled or curved, or even a ledge. And in this case with the ledge, the Overwatch engine physics sees it as a curve even though it looks very sharp visually. So the trick to it is that you need to rocket punch really close to said wall, ledge, or object, and it's that initial collision of the object at the beginning of the ability that gives you that diagonal height. For most eligible diagonal spots, you'll usually want to jump first to collide with that object so it hits that diag sweet spot and forces the movement. In the case of the ledge, you want to just fall backwards behind it while charging your punch and release it when the ledge is about knee height. Here are a couple of important tips to remember. Number 1, it really doesn't matter where your crosshairs are facing as long as it's in the same general direction of where you're going, and granted that you're colliding on an eligible diag spot. Number 2, don't hold your jump key after doing the initial starting jump for height, or else it will momentum cancel the rocket punch and you won't go as high. Number 3, you can combine the diagonal punch with a turn punch in the air for some complicated tech. And number 4, like I said, the key is that initial collision that forces the diagonal movement. So you can technically use the collision of your head to diagonally punch downwards off the top of door frames like so. Alright, with that, I hope you understand the mechanic, and Brandito, take it away.
On Hanamura, what you want to do is charge up your punch against the slanted wall and make your way to the window to assassinate any sniper or support that plays up here. This is a practical kill spot because on attack, you'll sometimes find yourself taking this right side angle and can be great for killing someone up there in a pinch. For Horizon, this diag is a setup spot for defense point B and is great because you start off with cover and it can give you multiple options. Start by punching off this control panel, and once you're up here, you can reach all 3 chokes with a strong seismic slam due to the diag punch height. Most attackers will not see you coming because you're likely to be out of their LOS or line of sight, and you can use this diag spot to cheese kill any random player that ends up on the moving beam up top. On Paris, the second point statue is a spot that you can diag punch off to nail any enemy standing on the platform here without wasting your uppercut. It's technically a kill spot as long as they don't hit the mini health pack on the way to the wall. On Anubis, this attacking diag punch kill spot became very popular from a clip a few months back. But let me introduce you to this diag spot for the defending side. Start here on the left side, charge your punch against this slanted wall and watch the enemy snipers tilt. On Volskaya, this diag is a setup punch off the forklift on attack, which can clear both sides of the defending high ground if you follow up with the seismic. The right side is straightforward, but to make it to the left side you also need to turn punch, which makes this quite a complicated tech. On Blizzard World Attack, clearing the defenders off high ground is one of the most important things to secure this point. So diag punch off this box to the left and hit him with the kill spot. This one is a bit risky, so maybe wait for one of your tank's shields. For Icon, I'm going to show you 2 punches because they're both equally important to know. For attacking first point to clear the snipers off high ground near point, diag off this car to set up a seismic combo. For the second point, diag off this little wall near the bridge to kill enemies high ground. On Hollywood first for attack, stay out of line of sight to the right to begin. Diag punch off this car to kill any enemies hanging out on the balcony. You might want to wait for one of your tanks to put a shield up first to protect you since this one is a little bit risky. For King's Row, this one is a cheeky underused diag spot to clear enemies off the high ground here. It's a safe start because you're behind the statue. Charge up your punch and get some airtime off the slanted part to the right. Additionally, for attacking third phase, you can use this little bump to kill spot anybody in the window or to set yourself up for seismic slam combo on the high ground back here. On Nubani first, the payload is your friend. You can diag off of any part really, but try the slanted part near the wheel and you can usually kill any enemies hanging out of high ground, no matter where they are. For Dorado, this diag is a kill spot for attacking around the first choke. Punch up the slanted part beside the stairs and you can kill a squishy hero when they crash into either the tree, bush, cactus, or wall depending on the angle. For Havana, I like sneaking all the way out to the right side on attack and attempt this diag if the defenders hold high ground to start. I'll make my way to the pink car and diag up on both high ground windows. It's not as bad as you think because the defenders can't see you because the left wall obstructs their view. On Junkertown, a lot of fights break out near the checkpoint on the first phase. If you suddenly hear a sniper up on the top window, you can just tell your team to hang tight, then diag punch off this gear and take them out. On Rialto first point, you can use any of these corner pots to diag punch off of, so it gives you multiple options. For this high ground, you'll likely need to follow up with seismic to confirm a kill since the punch will likely not hit them into a wall. This second one is a kill spot. This third one requires you to follow up with a seismic since it won't go far enough. Or alternatively, you can diag off the closer corner pot, but that one will put you in a bad starting position, so use it with caution. For Route 66, this diag punch is pretty good because you begin in cover relative to the common defending spot on this bridge. Aim it off the slanted rock and you'll likely connect on an enemy up here. If you get the angle just right, it's a kill spot because it'll collide against this tiny little pole, but it's a bit difficult. For Gibraltar, we decided to showcase this diag punch off the blue box here because it's the most practical. You begin around the corner as a defender, which gives you good starting coverage and allows you to clear high ground for snipers. On Downtown, this diag punch setup is actually insane. Like, I cannot comprehend, this actually makes me feel like I'm playing old Doomfish just flying across the map. Start on the white truck on whatever side you're on and punch off the side of it. It turns out you can literally reach the building on the opposite side. Just imagine thinking you're safe as Widow and seeing a Doomfist come flying at you from their spawn. You can also use this diag spot to reach the middle sniper spot if they decide to play there instead. On Sanctuary, you can diag punch off this turtle's tail to set yourself up for an uppercut on enemies near the ledge. Your punch doesn't quite reach far enough for a kill spot against the rock, unfortunately. I also want to note that it doesn't work off the turtle's head, only the ass. For Busan Mecha Base, you can diag punch off of any of these pillars, so use these to set yourself up for some height and seismic anywhere you need accordingly. On Ilios Lighthouse, I have a ton of diags here that are too spicy not to show you. There are 3 levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, like those cooking videos on everyone's YouTube recommended feed. These all stem from this initial setup, which is up the stairs here and against the curved white wall. Beginner diag would be going over towards the enemy high ground and seismic comboing them. Nice and easy. The intermediate level is going up to the central building, then hitting the enemy with a 100 plus seismic on the ground or high ground. The advanced one is a diag punch more towards the far side of the map, but bouncing when making contact with the second building by pressing jump here. Then using an uppercut to bring yourself up to the zesty spot. Stall here, then pick and choose how you want to drop back down depending on where the enemy is. On Ruins, you can use the statue near the point to diag punch yourself to the close high ground near the point.
I expected more from you.
There's another spot I like to use here off the group of slabs, which allows you to reach this other common sniper spot. On Well, come up to your side's high ground and use this blue cage as your diag punch object. You can orient yourself to go up and over this side for a spicy seismic if the enemies play here. Or head towards the main choke and seismic off this tiny blue curve for some big damage. On Night Market, come out and use the statue as your object to set up a diag to clear the enemy high ground. It's not a kill spot, so you're going to have to follow up with a seismic to kill them. On Garden, diag off the first rock to make it immediately through the window for a fast touch to recontest. There's also this juicy spot near the Whitehall building to reach the enemy backline late catching up with their team. On Control Center, there aren't too many practical and useful diag spots. There is, however, this one which is kind of hard to pull off. Start back near the edge of the map, near the Mega Health Pack, fall backwards and use the edge as your diag punch object to bring yourself up to contest the high ground here. On Sanctum, diag punch off the short pole and turn in the air to clear snipers off this high ground. On Shrine, you can use all 4 corners of the point to diag off the top of the fence. The key here is to stand on the pot to start high enough. You can kill enemies on the high ground, or wrap around the enemy and seismic slam the backline. On Village, you're going to have to use the ledge falling trick again, and punch as soon as you fall back on the bridge here to give you enough height to slide off the roof here. Use this to initiate a spicy seismic slam combo at the choke. On Gardens, there's this back flank route to get to the high ground on point. It's cheeky and great if you can coordinate with your ball or another hero to jump high ground to give them an off-angled surprise. For City Center, most Doomfists just use the jump pad and use regular air rocket punches for rollouts. If you really want to get snazzy with it, use the short fence here and it will allow you to assassinate Pharahs in the distance. On University, use the ledge diag trick once again by falling towards the hole near the point and lifting yourself up towards the high ground. This map mostly sucks for diag punches, so just play them normally here, don't bother with this unless you really just want to be, well, quite fancy.
And that's it for this one. Thank you, Brandito, for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me, CarQ. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch under the name Brandito.